It has now been a year since we've got the Avengers Doomsday chairs casting announcement, which is absolutely crazy to announce the cast and also that Avengers Doomsday has officially entered production 1 year ago today. And I'll kind of feel like I might never forget this moment. Like, this was such a moment that was just like kind of crazy. I mean, it was kind of cool but also frustrating as fans. I mean, like just some of the stuff they were doing and some of the way they executed it. It's like, I don't know what you're doing, but it was interesting, and a lot of things has changed since like this Chairs Day announcement. So we're going to be like talking about it and everything we got about like everything that has changed, all the castings, and what was it like 1 year ago today when we witnessed this live stream. And also, hello, hello, hello. Hopefully everyone's doing great. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Thank you for checking out this video and hopefully you guys enjoy. For me, what my perspective of when Avengers Doomsday the chairs announcement happened, like I remember this the day before. I was like avoiding Twitter and all that because I remember there's 2 episodes of Daredevil Born Again releasing that day. So I was avoiding it. So I was watching 2 episodes. And then after that, I did look on social media. It was mostly like the Daredevil stuff. And then I saw a couple tweets saying that there's a crazy Marvel announcement as big as the Robert Downey Jr. returning as Doctor Doom in Avengers Doomsday, or possibly even bigger than that. I'm like, that's such a weird thing. Like, why would this be a thing just out of the like nowhere? So I saw a couple of that. So I'm like, okay, I didn't really believe it. The next day I wake up early and then I see like everyone's talking about it. I'm like, what? What is this thing? Like, what is this announcement? And I was thinking it's between 2 things. The first one being Spider-Man 4, because at the time it wasn't even called Spider-Man Brand New Day. It was Spider-Man 4. So I was thinking, okay, some announcement there. Or 2, we actually get something with the Avengers movies announcement. So it was between 1 and 2. That's what I was thinking. So I'm very curious. I'm like, what is this announcement? Where is it at? And like what how long is it or what is special about it? So I'm like, what in the world could this be? And then all of a sudden there was a live stream. And the first thing we see was Chris Hemsworth's chair. And I'm like, okay, interested. Is this Thor 5 for some reason? I thought that or something else. And then the next one, like 30 minutes, hour later, like it was long. We got Vanessa Kirby as Invis Woman from the Fantastic Four. I'm like, oh, this is a Avengers Doomsday chairs announcement, casting announcement. I'm like, okay, interested. And then I was remembering like a lot of this stuff. I'm like, okay, this is very interesting. You're announcing the castings, and then if I'm right, it was Anthony Mackie was next, and then like Sebastian Stan. I'm like, okay, not bad. So far, so good. If you guys remember later, this was like the whole casted Chairs Day announcement. We had Anthony Mackie as Captain America, Chris Hemsworth as Thor, Tom Hiddleston Loki, Sebastian Stan Bucky, Paul Rudd Ant-Man, Florence Pugh Elena Belova, Danny Ramirez Falcon, Wyatt Russell U.S. Agent, David Harbour Red Guardian, Hannah Jaw Kamen Ghost, Louis Pullman Sentry, Simu Liu Shang-Chi, Winston Duke M'Baku, Tenoch Huerta Namor, and then Pedro Pascal, Reed Richards, Vanessa Kirby, Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm, and Ebama Backrock as The Thing, with Patrick Stewart as Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, James Marsden Cyclops, Rebecca Romaine Mystique, Alan Cunning Nightcrawler, Kelsey Grammer Beast, Channing Tatum Gambit, and last but not least, Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom. Obviously, that was not the order it was like with the chairs, but that was like the whole casting, and we are like, okay, this casting isn't that bad. It's solid, but it was also very interesting because we were like, there are a lot of missing people. Like some people were thinking we were getting Punisher, the Daredevil, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, Or like, oh wait, imagine if we get Toby or Andrew as Spider-Man, but did it happen? And then like no Wanda, no Doctor Strange, Hulk, Hawkeye. There was a lot of missing seats, and like they'll probably maybe appear. I have no clue of like what's going to happen. Like when that movie comes out and who else is going to appear. And for all I know, are they ever going to do a second half of this Cheers Day announcement? And like, will it be happy or loved by fans again, or will it be like a bit annoying? I mean, honestly, I wouldn't hate it if they do it for the next Avengers movie, but we'll find out. But like, I remember, wait, to just look at this chair's announcement, there was a lot of stuff that was just like kind of problems with it. One of the problems was that the way they did it, like every 30 minutes, we wait for a name, and when you got to it, there was some stuff. But I'll say this. The Paul Rudd baby chair scene was actually funny. I loved that one. That was actually so funny that they did that part. But then like so like the way they did it, like for example, we had Vanessa Kirby as the second chair. Then it took us like five, six, I don't know, however many chairs we got like for the next Fantastic Four member. And it's like we know that if there's one of them, all four of them are gonna be in the film. Why is it that we have to like wait and we already know this? And then it's just like another problem was that they kind of spoiled the Thunderbolts movie because pretty much everyone but Taskmaster did survive the movie. But I'll say this, when I saw Louis Pullman as Sentry's sheriff there, I was like, okay, good. They're not gonna do like a one-off villain, you know. He's a one-off character, one and done, never see him again. It's like, okay, good. So he's gonna make it, and I'm interested because bro, Sentry's like one of the most powerful Marvel characters out there. Like he's freaking strong. So it's like, okay, that's cool. But you know, you're just like, really? This is who you're going to have? And then like I'll just say this too. Another problem with like Marvel is just like at the time, like a lot of these characters, the way they did the Infinity Saga, you had a lot of these characters appear in so many projects, like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, for example. But like this right here, like we didn't really get a lot of like the new characters and all that. Like we didn't get like a lot of interactions and all that. Like I'm trying to think. Sam Wilson's Captain America only appeared in two projects, if I'm right. I might be wrong about that, but then it's like he appeared more in like the Infinity Saga projects and more projects. I mean, I don't know about the screen time, that might be a different story, but it's just like, yeah, it's so weird. I think the most we got was Yelena in like many multiple projects, and I think Bucky's probably second, but like in this whole multiverse saga. But it's just like, man, like it was just weird. It's like a lot of the characters you didn't really care about, like we didn't care about a lot of these Thunderbolt characters until later, like like the movie came out, and I just remember like when I was just seeing some of these names, bro, I'm like, what are we doing? Like Wyatt Russell as U.S. Agent. No offense, he had a great character though before Thunderbolts, but like what is he gonna do against Doctor Doom? Or what's Red Guardian gonna do against Doctor Doom? Explain to me, guys. Like, what are we doing? And then, like, it's just like so weird. Like, I don't kind of remember, like, bro, this is kind of frustrating. Like, a bit of like, what are we doing, man? And then we got Shang-Chi, which I was excited to see, but it's like, you think about it, we've only had him in one project in his solo movie, and it's been 5 years since we've had Shang-Chi. Like, it's been 5 years, and it's just like weird, but a lot of stuff did change, like I said. And I'll tell you this, we had Kelsey Grammer as Beast, which was exciting, but then you think about it, it's like, oh, he was in the Marvels, so nothing too crazy. But it's crazy to think that now the Marvels is probably like one of the most important post-credit scenes in this saga, which is kind of crazy to think that a movie that wasn't that good has like a very important post-credit scene. But I'll tell you this, I was kind of losing hope. Like I'll say this, I was having the stream on, but I wasn't just looking at it. I was doing some other stuff, multitasking, because it's like I'm just watching chairs for like an hour, and I thought this was probably gonna last the whole day. Like it was gonna be 50. It was 26 if I'm right, 25, 26, 27. For, I forgot, but it's like I was just like, man, this is gonna take a while. But then I got a bit excited after losing some hope when we got Tom Hiddleston as Loki. I'm like, hey, Loki's back. Let's go. And then the next one got announced, and it was Patrick Stewart as Professor X. I'm like, huh. I'm like, cool. That's exciting, but it's also like we've seen him already in the MCU. So I'm like, oh, where is this gonna go? Until the next one that really got me hooked. Ian McKellen as Magneto. This guy hasn't been in the MCU, and I remember I'm like, okay, I think we're starting to get serious out here. Like, whoa. And then just remember just seeing each of the chairs. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And like I'll say this, like Magneto, I love Magneto. He's probably one of the most exciting characters I'm excited to see in Avengers Doomsday. Out of all the characters, I think Magneto is definitely there. Like that's confirmed. And I'm just like, yo, let's go. And like some of the stuff people are saying, like he's gonna be great in this movie, especially his one teaser bar. You got me hooked. Hey, man, I'm just like, okay. At the end of the day, that Chairs Day was just like, was it well executed? Not really. But was it cool and fun at the end? Like, did I like it? Yeah, I personally enjoyed it. And it had like 5 million views. Like, it had, like, a lot of fans were very interested in watching a name on a chair. Think of that. Like, I'm just like, this was a fun thing, and I wouldn't really hate it if they do it again. You might hate me for that, but I mean, we'll see though. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they'll do. But I think we won't be getting any more like of this kind of casting announcement until like we'll find out like who else is in it in like the film. But I do want to talk about how much it has changed like years later, like 1 year later, how much stuff has changed. Because if you remember, I'm pretty sure Avengers Doomsday was still releasing in May. And then later after that, it delayed it to December. Same thing with Secret Wars. Like it was like both these Avengers movies were in May. They delayed it to December, which honestly I was excited because it's like Christmas came early for us. And also it was like better for post production, a lot of production, more of that. And then obviously there was stuff I was worried, but one of the things I was happy to hear was that they finished filming back in September, October ish. Sure, they're coming back for reshoots and stuff, but I mean, you're telling me the VFX workers have 14 months of post production. Like, I'm just looking at it, I'm like, okay, you know what? This is actually not going bad because people are saying the script wasn't finished. Well, duh, you guys should know. The script was finished eventually. The Russos have done this with the other Avengers movies, so quit acting like this is, oh, such a bad thing. No, it's not. It's fine. And then we had like other stuff, like it was just like we had the Thunderbolts, and you actually cared for these characters now. Like back then when I was looking at some of these Thunderbolts characters, I'm like, how would I care for like some of these characters like Ghost and like Red Guardian? And then you watch it and it's like you really do care for these characters. And then we had the Fantastic Four First Steps, which I think a lot of us were excited to see these characters, and they delivered. They really did deliver. And it was nice to see that like a lot of stuff has changed. And then we got some post-credit scenes which were actually not filmed by the directors of Thunderbolts or Fantastic Four. They were filmed by the Russos themselves, like a couple months before these movies come out. With the first one being like 14 months, I think 17 months. Forgot how long it has. 18 months has passed, I think, like since the events of Thunderbolts, and we see them. They're all like ready. Sentry is kind of holding back on his powers because like the Void, the evil side of him. And then we see like the Fantastic Four ship. We're like, oh shoot, interesting. And then we got the Fantastic Four First Step post credit scene, which we got Sue Storm and her son Franklin Richards, and we got to see these two reading until we got the final shot of Doctor Doom with his mask off, which we didn't even see his face, and looking at Franklin, and it's like, whoa. And then we were also hearing a bit of like a tease of the Doctor Doom theme, or like a theme that will be in the Avengers movie, which was cool. And then we also got some looks. We got the first look at Doctor Doom just based on like this promotional art right here. That was like back in like Disney at like Shanghai. And like this does look like it is gonna be the first look. And we've gotten like some other promos and stuff like merch. Not merch, but like promos. We've also got like first looks at characters from like these duffel bags and all this. So it was like cool. But I'll say this, I think the Doctor Doom design is great. I don't know what else you would expect to do, like improve on it, but I think it's a great look and I think they did a good job with it. And then the last thing we got were the teaser trailers. Like it was like every week they were posted teasers like for Avatar, but then also like they did post it online like Tuesday, like later that week, which was just kind of weird, but we managed to get to see every single teaser and they're all like different but like exciting. And they said they're not even teasers or trailers, they're more like clues. So I was very curious and excited to see what will these clues be or what is it. But we had some cool ones. We got Chris Evans coming back as Steve Rogers, which is cool. I know people hated it, but I think it was cool, and I'm very interested to see like what they'll do because there is a reason why he's in it. I don't think he's just there just because like all cameos or all that. I think there is a purpose for him for his story. So I feel like it is interesting. And then we got a Thor trailer, and it looks like we're getting the best version of Thor back since Infinity War. Like, just look at him and just him sending a prayer. I just like that part because it kind of shows that Doom is like a big threat. If you have Thor on his knees praying to like make it out alive and come back alive. And then we got the X-Men trailer, which honestly, I feel like this should have been the last one. But I mean, it was cool just to see Magneto and Charles being good friends. And dude, Magneto just dropping a crazy dialogue like, death comes for us all. That's all I know for sure. The question is, are you prepared to die? The question is, who will you be when you close your eyes? I don't know if I quoted that exactly, but you know, it was cool. And then we got Cyclops just going crazy. They are truly redeeming James Marsden for what Fox did to him and how dirty they treated him. And then we got this Wakanda trailer, which we got like looks of other characters. We see like what's going on. We see Ben meeting M'Baku, which is like a weird interaction, but it was like kind of works, which is what I liked about that trailer is that like, you know, it's like Marvel used to have like these characters interact like that's weird, but then it just works out well. So it was very cool that like a lot of stuff has changed for like over a year now, and I do wonder if we are going to be getting like something soon, like the trailer for Doomsday or CinemaCon's coming. I feel like if I'm being honest, the trailer for Doomsday might come out like later in the summer because they still have a lot, but hey, I'm excited. And honestly, I really did enjoy this chair's announcement 1 year ago. It was kind of cool and it was excited because we had a lot of fans just talking like, yo, this is going to be so cool and stuff. And then it's like, honestly, I wouldn't hate it if they do it for something else like Avengers Secret Wars. I don't know if they would do it, if they would, and what would be the purpose. Like if they say, "Oh yeah, it's finished filming or production has been done." I'm very curious about when will this happen, but I think you know there is potential of like, especially if you have some of like Spider-Man, Tom Holland Spider-Man street level characters. I feel like I would probably care more about those characters because I've seen them for like over 10 years now. So I feel like I'd be more invested with some of these characters, like whatever they're going to be. But assuming that some of these might be the ones, we'll see. But it's like, I'm excited. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and let me know, what do you guys think will happen? Like, will we get another second half of the Doomsday cast announcement? Will we get other stuff? Will we get this or that? Will we get a Secret Wars announcement? Let me know, like, if you think what we're going to be getting next. Some big news thing. Let me know. And if you guys enjoy it, subscribe and leave a like. And I'll see y'all next time.